I mean, he's up in New Hampshire talking about opioids, and then he somehow ties it into sanctuary cities. It seems like his fallback on everything is back to immigration, and I think it's very unfortunate what the governor, what the president said yesterday. He talks about building a wall. What he doesn't understand is most of the drugs that come into our country, the tunnels that are under those walls, they're not coming over the border. They're going through tunnels. And I wish that he would stick to what he's talking about. I mean, he's bringing parents out on the stage that lost loved ones, and then he turns it into an immigration conversation, criticizes Lawrence. I mean, long before the president made his comments yesterday, or was even president, we've been having gun summits, and we've been talking about the issue of illegal guns flowing into Boston and Massachusetts, and we'll be talking about the flow of drugs out of Massachusetts up into New Hampshire and places like that. So I think what you do is you sit people down and don't come up. He's finding excuses, and I think it's wrong. I think his death penalty situation, what he talked about, I mean, where do you? That's a very fine line. You have addicts that will sell pills for heroin. Do they get the death penalty? Are you talking about drug dealers who have large amounts of drugs? I mean, so his comments weren't clear, and he's not really backing up with funding. I mean, I think he put some money in there, but he's really not backing up his comments with funding. So I think that the president needs to go back and reevaluate everything he says.
He cited a Dartmouth study about Lawrence, saying a Dartmouth study found that many of the drugs for 6 communities in New Hampshire came from Lawrence.
A lot of the guns that are coming into Lawrence are coming from New Hampshire as well, and we should be blaming each other. What we should be doing is working with each other to try and how do you stem the tide of the drugs going to New Hampshire, how do you stem the tide of the guns coming down. I think that having conversations is the better way to go. I think that that's what you have to happen. Blaming a city like Lawrence is just unfair. He's picking on Dan Rivera, quite honestly, and Dan has done an incredible job as Mayor of Lawrence and trying to make sure that he makes changes in that city to reduce drug addiction, reduce violence, and by picking on Lawrence, that's not what a president should be doing.
And
okay, thank you guys.
If the death penalty were only applied to high volume traffic,
you can't do that. It's impossible. I mean, it's impossible to be able to pick that across. I mean, I have plenty of people that I know that are affected by drugs. I know a good amount of people that passed away because of drugs, and there's a lot of anger there. Right now, I think if we should be figuring out how do you maybe prosecute some of the folks that are dealing high amounts of drugs. I don't think the death penalty is the answer to it. I think that there has to be a better way. I mean, that's rhetoric. He's playing to people's emotions when he talks about drug dealing. Now, what we have to be doing is putting more money into treatment. We have to be putting more money into prevention, more money into education. He didn't talk about that really yesterday. He talked about drug dealers getting the death penalty. You want to deal with the drug issue? Well, let's work on getting money into treatment, and let's get a continuum of care that works, not a 3-day detox stay. Let's think of long-term treatment stay, how it works. That's how you fix, not fix, that's how you address the issue of drugs addiction.